What's up, guys? I was just talking about the whole protest stuff on my Instagram, and you know, I'm just saying the stuff that I be picking up on and learning. You know, just gonna give a disclaimer, like it might not all be 100% facts, but I'm very confident in some of this, like in the stuff that I am saying. Like I don't trust the news. I don't trust anything on the internet. That's just something that I don't do no more because I realized anything can be manipulated. All these news broadcasts, all this stuff on the internet, it's all pushed as an agenda. You won't understand that stuff until you start going deeper into stuff and looking real deep to realize like, yo, this is not, this is not really what it is. Like it's all programming. It's a programming. It's a programming. Like shit, it's crazy. So I take every single little thing with a grain of salt. I don't care what is being said on and what's being showed because you have no idea how things are really going on behind the scenes. Like all the stuff they posting on media is to make it look like Trump supporters are crazy and they have no mind. Like, come on now. They're just showing what they want to show you. That stuff happened, yes, but it goes deeper than that. There's people who are funded to go to these events, who are paid to go to these events and cause havoc to make it look ugly. But then there's real people out here who are protesting peacefully, who are supporting what Trump is trying to convey, the message he's trying to convey about all this stuff going on with the fraud, the election fraud, you know? Like, there's a lot of things that they do to deceive us, to make us not really realize what's going on. This is all an agenda. That's how I feel. That's what I see. That's what I experience from all of this stuff. Like, it's an agenda. The whole, you know, that whole virus was manufactured. It was made. It was all part of the whole agenda to keep us in control, to put us in fear, to get Trump out and never have him come back into office. It was all timed. It was all calculated. You got to observe how things go. It's like very calculated. It's not just like, you know, it's real calculated. So it's a real look like it's a real war out there. It's a real battle. But look, I believe in the higher power. I believe everything's gonna be good. I know a lot of people are struggling right now. A lot of people are, confused and just going through it. But I believe everything will be fine. Like I have sources that I look into. I watch. They're very spiritual sources. You know, they're people who um, you know, are in tune with the universe and with the world in a different way than all this toxic stuff that happens, all this violence and drama and like these are people who are really in tune with the universe. That's the content I watch. It's deep, but you have to be very focused and analytical and detailed to pick up on what they're trying to say and convey. Like some of these videos I'm watching is like an hour, 2 hours long, and it's not too crazy. Like sometimes you can go in the rabbit hole and stuff, and I don't like people to get too consumed where they start to feel down and low and sad. Like you know, you can get some knowledge without going too far into the rabbit hole. I just believe in a higher power. I believe in God. I have faith, and I know, like this is actually a really good time. Like this is a good time that people are starting to question things. Like A lot of stuff is being exposed. It's a very good time, just about how you see it. It's how you perceive it. You know, you don't want to get too deep into that stuff where you start to feel all low and down. Like, we are great people. We are powerful. We're strong people. We are children of God, children of the universe. Tap into your power. Make every day your best day. Don't let all this stuff, discourage you and put you down. And you know what I'm saying? This stuff is programming. Like, I don't care about this. Like, the music that we listen to all day long, all is about sex, drugs, violence, the movies we watch, all that facade, all that stuff they push into us, man. It's all entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm a musician. Yeah, I say stupid shit all the time and stuff, but I've been working on trying to improve myself. I'm not saying I got it all figured out, but I'm going to try to explain shit as I see it to help the next person, because we're all human. I feel like you feel. We all have emotions. We all got all that extra shit. We're all human, but it's about time we start connecting with one another. We start really getting in tune with one another. This social distancing stuff is keeping us separated and making us divided, man. We're all one. We're all together. And there's nothing that can separate that from us. It's natural. It comes within us, you know? So that's, there's stuff going on with the whole Trump stuff. I really do believe like that's, I feel like the election was fraud. I was never a Trump, I never was a pro-Trump person. I used to think he was an idiot just like everyone else. I didn't like him. I thought he was stupid. But then when I started reading between the lines, when I started looking at resources and telling me what is really going on, I started saying, you know what, this guy has a point. This guy is different. He's not just a lunatic like they paint him to be, like these news and all this stuff paint him to be like a lunatic, like he's crazy. Yo, you cannot get to that level of position by being a lunatic. It's all a game, it's entertainment. I feel like he's smarter than what we think. He's playing a certain role. He's not perfect. He doesn't do everything right. But come on, like, look at any politician. What have they done for you? Like, this whole politics game is a joke. They don't care about us. They don't care about us. Like, I don't know. I have faith in Trump. There's resources that I look into, that I watch, that explain his role. And it makes sense. Even if I'm not a believer or a supporter of Trump, I believe that I like how he talks about fake news. That news is fake. This fake stream media stuff. I believe that he could be using it to run his own, but it's fake. It's always been fake. Like, it's all an agenda, and it's not in our best interest. So today, there was a protest and all that. And of course, stuff happened. That always happens now. You see what happened to the George Floyd situation? Like, it's just part of what happens, and all these media and all these channels is all for clicks, 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 bait, 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 entertainment, entertainment. So y'all could be at home on Instagram, posting it and laughing, whoop, whoop, whoop. Y'all not even seeing the bigger picture. Like, and then tomorrow's the next day, y'all moved on. Like, y'all are not seeing the bigger picture. Like, they just controlling us, keeping us at this certain, way of thinking. It's not right. And I talk to people. I be conversating with people out here. And, there's people out here who are really conscious and aware of what's going on, young and older. We all have our own opinion and perceptions about what's going on. But there's an underlying truth that something is not right. Something's messed up. And it's been like that. That's why I started talking about the whole sugar stuff and dieting. Like, dieting is a challenge. I know, because I did it and I'm working still on it. Like, I was 315 pounds. Now I'm 160. But I'm still working on what my goal. Like, I'm trying to lose a little more weight, But it's a challenge. It took a lot of time. It took me like 3-4 years to really do the whole thing. A lot of ups and downs. And, you know, it's a challenge, but I learned a lot from it. It was it helped me, it disciplined me a lot. Like I know sugar is a hard thing to let go of. Like you can't just go turkey when you're dieting. That's why I don't want people to feel like, oh, I gotta do this or I'll never be able to. You gotta take your time with it though, because the way the body works, it happens over time. Almost everything in the world, you gotta apply certain things to everything. Like you cannot have your body, if it's used to eating all this stuff today, automatically just start going this way. Like you have to gradually do it. You have to strategize. You have to have hacks. Like me, I wanted ice cream today. I don't know why, because I don't know. I love ice cream, but I don't even really care for it lately. But I just wanted some ice cream today. I don't know what it was. So I was gonna get my favorite ice cream, which is Andes, but then I ended up getting Enlightened, which is like lighter, in calories and carbs and all that. And I put a little bit of half and half milk, and that kind of satisfied me. And I don't know why I'm kind of losing the traction for Andes, but what I'm saying is I like sugar too. It's not like I don't eat, like I try to avoid it. I don't eat it on a daily basis, but I have my moments. But what I learned is that it takes time and discipline, repetition, like anything else. Everything takes time and repetition and discipline. You might start today, mess up tomorrow, mess up a week later, but you go back to it once you build a routine or once you start doing something. You kind of cannot let go of it forever if it works for you and if you start to get rewards from it. Like if you start to see you know, positive things happen, you're going to want to go back to it. It's going to start beating you up when you do the negative habits or the negative things. So I know sugar's a big one. It's a weakness, but you gotta start looking in deeper, thinking about it. Like, wow, they put that in everything. They put sugar in almost everything. Don't you think that's somewhat of a control? Like they know your weakness. When you start thinking like that, you're like, man, I'm not gonna let them control me. Like, I'm not gonna let I'm not gonna let my weakness control me, It takes time, but first it first comes with the thought and knowledge. Like when I first started my weight loss, I never really knew that carbs, I ate too much carbs. We eat too much carbs. Carbs is a sugar. I had to learn this stuff. I had to do some research and learn what a sugar means, what's a carbohydrate, what's a calorie, all that extra stuff. I had to learn how to read the nutritional labels, which I never did. I never used to. But when I started cutting out the carbs, everything changed. I felt better. I lost weight. My confidence grew. That's why I'm like, oh, so it's the carbs that's what's messing me up. At one point, I was like a pro keto, no eating carbs. If you eat carbs, you're a bad person. Not like you're a bad person, but you shouldn't eat carbs. It's not smart. Why would you eat carbs? Like, I'm never gonna eat carbs. But I was really more on a protein, vegetable, just low carb diet for a very long time. I was losing the weight. And then, of course, I had my times when I went back to eating carbs because it's hard to just stick on some, certain diet. It gets boring and stuff. But I felt great. I looked the best I have in my life from not eating carbs. And so that taught me a lot about carbs. And then I had to strategize as I started getting smaller. I'm like, man, I'm tired of just not eating carbs. Like, I low key want to enjoy like the carbs. So I had to strategize. So when I got smaller, I was I was more, able to be more active because when I first started dieting, I didn't move around a lot. I was just sitting down a lot. I was on the computer. I used to work a 9 to 5, but it worked for me at the time. All I had to do was program myself to eat straight like protein and vegetables, just low carb, like shit. Like literally, I would eat blackberries, I would eat salads, just protein like meats and all that. And I knew because my body was always used to eating all the time, the routine, the way my body was programmed to be. I had to hack it. So I didn't just go from eating because I was always used to eating large amounts of food. I just started changing the amounts of food I was eating and still eating a large amount of food throughout, my dieting process when I started. And then over time, I started eating less because my stomach started getting smaller, and then I didn't need to eat as much, etc., etc. But it was the hacks, over time to get to that point. And then eventually I got to a point where I was, I had lost, a lot of weight. And then I could eat, other foods that I didn't want to eat before because I was afraid if I ate it, I'll gain weight again. But I was able to eat them and learn a new technique, which was to be more active because my body was lighter anyways. And I felt like going outside and doing stuff. So I started taking walks every day, and that was very relieving and therapeutic. It was a beautiful thing. I started going to walks every day. And then I started taking walks. And, as I started taking walks, eventually I became even more active. And now I run, I bike every day, and I eat carbs now. But, I'm so into this health stuff. And, one thing too is like, you have to be in a good mindset. You have to be in a good state when you're trying to do stuff like this. If you have too much stress or things that's bothering you, or maybe depressed, something, it's hard to diet. You have to make sure your environment, your state of mind that is in a good place. When you're in this bad place, it's hard to focus on diet. That's why another thing is when I started dieting, honestly, was, and this for me, some people go hard. They go harder than what I did, but I had gotten to a certain point in my life. I was stable enough. I had a good job, and I was making decent money. I was in a stable position where I was like, okay, I got all the bare minimums I need. Let me just start focusing on my diet, because my weight and my diet was one of the biggest things of my whole life that I always wanted to work on, and I just never knew how to do it in a consistent way. I would go to the gym, I would go play basketball. There's times when I would do all this and that, but I didn't know the most important thing was the diet, what I'm eating. I didn't know that I didn't have to even do any exercise, any activity. I just had to watch what I was eating. And I learned that through my own research and through trial and error. The doctors couldn't help me with that at the time. The knowledge, that's what I'm saying, this knowledge and information. Now everything is keto this, keto that, low carb this, low that. Low. When I first started, it wasn't even like that. I had to learn that shit, because that's why I cannot always take what they tell me for what it is. These doctors, these scientists, all these special whatevers, because they're taught whatever the agenda is being pushed from the big guys, from the corporations, from the lobbyists, from whatever. They're being taught that, in this being put into the education system, the institutional systems, the education systems, into the jobs and everything. So it's not like what they're teaching them is 100% for the best interest of you and the humans and the humanity. It's for the best interest for them and their agenda. So they're not going to tell you the whole thing about dieting. They're going to tell them, oh, do this, do that. I mean, look at how things change over time. Back then, cigarettes were not a health hazard or health concern. It wasn't a problem to smoke cigarettes when back then, but now they put it on the box and stuff. Like, so how do you trust them when they made mistakes always, or they always come up with, oh, now this, or come on now, utilize your intuition. Like, what you gotta learn from real life, because the stuff that they be selling us and all that stuff they be telling us, most of the time is not for your best interest, unless they realize, oh, they discovered it now, or they figured it out. Now let's bring it into a product. Let's make it another product. Let's commercialize it. Meditation is a big one. That helped me a lot. Meditation helped me a lot. It changed my life. Start meditating. Start trying to meditate. Do what you can with the meditation. Like, when now look at meditation. It's commercialized too. Everything gets commercialized. When they figure out, oh, they figured it out, or then they bring it into their own little agenda. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I know sugar is very hard to let go of and stuff like that, but it takes time. Like, when I stopped eating sugar, of course, when you first start, you're gonna have the cravings. You're like, oh my God. But the longer you go, the more the more you practice it, your body starts to change, your taste buds start to change, everything, your genome, your genetics, everything starts to change to the extent where if you go a certain period of time without it, like sugar, like fasting, like the word fasting is a powerful word. You could have a sugar fast. I'm not gonna eat sugar for a week. I'm not gonna eat sugar for 30 days. If you do that, you will see a drastic change. Drastic change. Because your body has never experienced it if you've never done it. But if you do that, you see a drastic change to the extent where eventually you're not even gonna crave it like that. You're not even gonna need it or want it. It's like a drug. Everything is like a drug. It's like a drug. Sugar is like a drug. Carbs, all that stuff, alcohol, they're all stuff that your body gets used to. So when you go without it for a while, your body begins to adjust. You're gonna have the withdrawals at first, whatever, but your body begins to adjust. It's like willpower. Once you build some willpower and discipline, and you can avoid it for a certain period of time, you feel stronger. You feel better. You feel more. You've achieved something. And then your body won't even be craving it like that no more. You'll have your moments. It's amazing though, because sometimes it goes with what's going on with your life. Like, you might be in a very good spot right now, so it's easy for you to die. It's more manageable. And then next thing you're depressed, maybe you're going through a breakup, or maybe you failed a class, you know what I'm saying? Something happens which makes you feel low or down, and then you go back to that old habit, whatever. It happens, but it's all trial and error. It's all part of the experience. Let it happen. It's part of meditation. It helps you acknowledge everything. Like, I'll be like, man, I'm in a shitty mood right now. And it's okay. It's good to accept your feelings and emotions. So you might go through a little phase, and then boom, you go right back. Because once you experience this, you can't always stay in that type of mindset. You're gonna want to go right back. You might fall off and go this, whatever, but it's all, you gotta see it as an experience. It's all an experience, you know? So just take your time with things. Don't overly kill yourself. Don't beat yourself up. And this coming from someone who experienced this stuff, who's still learning every day. It's a beautiful thing about life. Every day you learn something new. It's amazing. It's amazing how you learn something new every single freaking day. As long as you pay attention, man, you should never take life for granted, man. That's another thing this whole media and all all this stuff does, man. It makes you start taking things for granted. It makes you start becoming desensitized to life, thinking everything is a toy or object or it's not reality. Nah, man. This is a beautiful thing we have is in this lifetime, man. And things change every single day. Every single day you learn something new about yourself, your body, your family, your friends, your hobbies, whatever it is. Like, every single day you learn something new. As long as you're in tune, though. As long as you're in tune, as long as you're actually living and not just, on autopilot, being conscious, like, just being in the moment. So I'm saying meditation. If you can, start with meditation. And then with meditation, you can go into the dieting and then the other stuff you want to do, like whatever you want to do, whatever you want to aspire, it'll start to fall into place, bit by bit, bit by bit. But the best thing is to just start first. Just do it, like Nike. They always have messages. They have messages because they know the truth. Nike, they say just do it because that's all you have to do is just do it. Get out of your mind. Get out of your mind. Get out of your mind. Get out of your head. It happens. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. Happens to me all the time. But repetition and constant, you start to overcome the fears. You start to overcome the worries and the what ifs. You start to just overcome it. You build new challenges, but you become better and better and better. You be like, wow, look where I was a year ago, and look at where I am at now. You know what I'm saying? And then you just start to love everything and everyone in life. You just start to express it. Because no one, if you're not happy, you can't be happy for the next person. You can't express happiness. Everything is It's a perception. If you're in a low vibrational state, everything around you is low vibrational, no matter what it is. Even if you get $1 million in front of you, it's not gonna feel as good if you're not in the high vibration. So that's what you gotta do, man. Just gotta focus and just you know take it one step at a time. Don't beat yourself up. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone has their own challenges and battles. But I have to elaborate on this because I was talking about the whole protest today, man. Man, I don't like I just cannot feed into the negativity. If it's negative, I'm not buying it. So all that violent stuff that was going on at the protests, yeah, it was there. I know we see it on camera, but don't just think, don't buy into just that and think that's really what it is. This media stuff is really good at deceiving. They're good. They're smart. They're very, 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 very intelligent motherfuckers. Intelligent people. And then you stop cursing. Intelligent people. Or whatever. Intelligent. Whatever they are. I don't know. But start tapping in and tuning in, man. Stop following all this negative stuff. Stop watching this stuff that doesn't serve you. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be in your face. That's what they do. That's what they're good at. They're good at putting it in your face everywhere. On TV, on the radio, on the internet, like everywhere you go, boom, it's right in your face. But start blocking it out. Start reading through it. Stop. Don't feed into that stuff, man. Like that stuff is not. It doesn't help you any. Like who cares? Like you have to look at the deeper meaning behind it. This guy Trump is not doing this every single day, fighting and screaming left and right about something that's a joke. There's real court documents out there. Look them up. Trump versus United States of America. Look it up. The COVID relief bill was 5,593 pages. 5,593 pages. But all they told you about is the $600 stimulus bill. What's in those 5,000 pages? There's a lot of information in there. There's a lot of deep stuff that's in there that they talk about that they're not telling you. They just tell you what they think they want you to know or whatever. There's stuff about UFO exposure and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's deep. I was talking to someone today who was talking about, he was conversating with farmers and stuff, and he said the farmers said that the government funds them to stop growing certain crops, to stop growing certain things during certain times because they're busy trying to push a certain agenda, such as when they were releasing cornflakes from all this processed cereal, they had them stop growing certain crops so that they can push this processed food. When you start changing what you eat and you start eating real food, good ass food, like some real food, it's a process, it's a programming. If you're used to eating processed food all the time, like food that's not real, it's might not be a good, like you might not like real food as much yet or whatever, but you slowly, be like, man, I really like this. I don't really like that. Like, I don't really like that. I like the real food. I just was eating that because it was in my, premises, or it was just something I was normally used to eating. But now that I think about it, I like that. That processed food ain't good for you, man. It's not good. Like I said, I have my moments, I have my days. I'm not perfect, but I be trying to do the best, as far as my diet. Like now it's kind of weird, and maybe like right now, especially right now, I can't, like I eat as much real whole foods as possible. Like I eat a lot of protein. I eat a lot of protein, and like right now I eat a lot of protein and some low calorie bread. Like the bread's like 60 calories a slice. And I put butter on it, but that's because that's what I like. Like, you start to know what you like. Like, you don't just be eating anything. Like, there's certain foods that you really like. Other foods you don't even like, you just probably just be eating it because it's food, and you're still in that mindset of just, food, food, food. But you start to eat stuff that actually you do like. That's what will happen over time, you know? So, And another thing is, I know that's what I do now. Like, I fast now. I eat 1 meal a day. Because people be asking me what I do, like how I eat, what I eat and stuff like that. Right now, I be fasting. So I don't eat at all day long. I just eat 1 meal at nighttime, but I eat a lot, motherfucker. Like, I eat a lot of food. Like, I be eating. But it's good. Like, it works for me. I lost, like, 20, 30, 40 pounds since I started doing it. I mean, I'm active almost every day now, but I think it's more or less me fasting in my diet. Like, and it works for me. I don't feel guilty. I don't feel like crap because I can literally pretty much eat whatever I want. But even though when I fast for that long, I can't not just I can't eat too much. I can't overindulge because I'm eating at one time, one setting. My stomach can only eat so much at a time, but I eat as much as I want, as much as I feel like I want to. And then I go to sleep and I'm tired because I already, like, another thing is I keep myself occupied as much as I can throughout the day. And it's good too. Like, I learned a lot of new techniques during the pandemic, like that, I wasn't doing beforehand. Like, you got to always improvise. Like, during all this stuff, in the beginning, everyone was starting to get fearful and shelter in place. No one was going outside, and I get it. You weren't allowed to for some people or some places. But I had to improvise because I used to at least go to the park. I used to go to the gym, but everything was closed. So I had to improvise. So I had to figure out what to do because I couldn't stay in my house twiddling my thumbs. That causes depression. Like, just sitting there thinking all the time. That's when you start, just start eating for no reason and just, doing stupid shit. So that's when I started, when the gyms were closed, I started going out biking, you know, going out biking with my buddy. And then I started eating better. Like, at one point, I was just still trying to figure it out during the pandemic, and you know, I was kind of falling off a little bit, but then I got back on track, and then I discovered fasting. I don't know. Sometimes you just get insights. Like, something just kept telling me, like, I don't really need to eat right now. Well, I don't want to eat. I'm just doing it because I'm used to it. You're just used to eating at this time or used to doing this and that. But then I just started fasting, and then now it's normal for me. Like, I low key like, I like doing this. Like, I like to fast and not eat until nighttime, and I feel great, and I don't feel guilty, and I can eat what I want. And I usually eat particularly specific types of food every day. Like, I make sure I have some protein, which is like some beef, typically some beef or some chicken. But I like beef. I feel like beef is more, filling. And I have some type of beef. I'm still trying to, get some more variety as far as protein. Like, I have a new store I'm looking at, you know. And then I eat like 5 slices, 6 slices of bread. But it's low. It's like 60 calories per slice. I gave him Sprouts, and I put some butter on it. It's just what I like. And then sometimes I eat rice with the bread, and sometimes I eat like fries, like not fries, like fried potatoes, like, you know. And I don't drink nothing but water or sparkling water. I don't drink soda. I don't drink juice. Like, it's just unnecessary sugar. It's unnecessary calories. Like, I just straight up drink water or sparkling water. And yeah, that's what I do. And then some nights I eat some, like Halo Top ice cream or something like that. Might drink a little, like some milk, something like that. But it's what works for me, you know. At one point, I was eating, like, I've been doing 1 meal a day for damn near like few months now. But at one point, I'll eat, my regular meal, which is, like I said, protein, a lot of protein, some carbs. And then I'll have like 3, 4, 5 ice cream sandwiches. No, like 3 or 4, like 3, and maybe 4 sometimes. But I was doing that, and I was still not gaining weight the next morning. But then I got to a point, it's funny, because I just got tired of it. I'm like, okay, I don't really feel like eating these ice cream sandwiches anymore. And I want to cut my weight, some more. So then I cut out that, and then I started losing more weight. And that's where I'm at now. Like, I'm just fasting and I eat at nighttime, and that's what works for me. But I keep myself busy. But yeah, I just wanted to tell people about, like the whole sugar and dieting and the whole Trump stuff today. Like, I just wanted to elaborate on it, so people understand where I'm coming from, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna stop now, and then we'll talk later because I keep going on forever. But yeah, that's it.